A Living Nightmare. I'm Jason Horton.
I'm Rebecca Lieb.
And this is Ghost Town.
In April of 1828, Anne Martin was having nightmares. Twice she'd violently awakened with dreams of her missing stepdaughter Maria, dead and buried under a barn half a mile from where Anne lived with her husband, Thomas. At first she ignored it. After all, she didn't want to be perceived of as superstitious. But when the dream returned, she couldn't ignore it and told her bereft husband. This admission would unlock the secret to the biggest murder mystery in Polstead, England that ever would be. Today, we're talking about the case that was solved by a dream, 1827's infamous Red Barn murder. Maria Martin was born on July 24, 1801, to Thomas Martin, a mole catcher, literally a man who catches moles for a living, in Polstead, Suffolk County, England. She was attractive, bubbly, and good-natured, and had 2 children with men from the neighborhood, Thomas Corder, whose child with Maria died as an infant, and Peter Matthews, who didn't marry Maria, but did pay her a stipend for the care of her child, Thomas Henry. William Corder, the younger brother of Thomas Corder, of course, was very different from his brother. He was incredibly charming, but had faced some trauma. A horrible death when his older brother Thomas drowned, attempting to cross a frozen pond. In fact, tragedy struck more than once for poor William. Unbelievably, William's father and all 3 of his brothers, including Thomas, died within 18 months of each other, leaving William and his poor mother to fend for themselves and the farm. William's mother sent him off to England, and when he returned to visit her, he was reintroduced to Maria, and the 2 hit it off. The 2 wished to keep their relationship a secret. For many reasons, including that she had dated his older brother, the 2 wished to keep their budding relationship a secret. But soon they became pregnant. 25 in 1827, but only 2 weeks after it was born, the child died in her arms. Thomas and Anne Martin placed the lifeless infant in a box and wrapped it in a napkin, giving it to the heartbroken William to bury somewhere safe. Despite the tragedy of the death of their child, William still wanted to marry Maria. That summer, in the presence of her stepmother, Anne Martin, William begged Maria to meet him at the Red Barn. From there, he proposed they would elope to Ipswich, the nearest port town, claiming that he had heard rumors that the parish officers were going to prosecute Maria Martin for having children out of wedlock. On Friday, May 28, 1827, William appeared at the Martins' cottage during the day, and according to Anne, who was there, told Maria that they had to leave at once, as he had heard that the local constable had obtained a warrant to arrest her for having, again, children out of wedlock. So Maria dressed in men's clothing to avoid suspicion, I know, very Shakespearean, and the plan was that Maria would meet Thomas at Red Barn. He would carry her things, and she would change, and then they would go off to Ipswich. The Red Barn was a prominent landmark in Polstead, namely for its unique red brick roof, and it was about a mile from the Martins' cottage, so very convenient. William and Maria again would reconvene there and head off to get married, avoiding persecution, and start their new lives together. Shortly after William left the house, Maria set out to meet him at the Red Barn, putting a green bandana around her neck that William had given her as a gift. After that, 11 months would go by without word of either William or Maria. Despite letters to the couple in Ipswich, Maria's parents heard nothing. The Martin family was beside themselves. William had been through so much tragedy. Maybe he and Maria died. Or maybe they were just living their lives in peaceful isolation. The point is, the Martins, crestfallen, had absolutely no idea what had happened to their daughter or her fiancé. But then the dreams began. Anne Martin's mysterious dreams of Maria. Not of her in far-off lands or married with a big family. The dreams were of her being dead, buried under the Red Barn, again less than a mile from where she once lived. At first, Anne thought they were just dreams, nonsense really, but after a while, they couldn't be ignored. One day she told her husband Thomas about her dream, describing it in vivid detail. She thought that maybe, just maybe, her husband should explore what the dreams might mean. Quote, "I think, were I in your place, I would go and examine the Red Barn," she told him. Bewildered, her husband asked why. Quote, "I have very frequently dreamed of Maria," Anne said, "and twice before Christmas I dreamed that Maria was murdered and buried in the Red Barn." She would have told him sooner, Anne explained, but she was afraid he'd think she was, well, crazy. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Remember, Maria's family hadn't heard from her in 11 months. So Thomas Martin grabbed his mole-catching gear and headed to Red Barn to see if his wife's dreams had any basis in reality. More after the break.
Hi, hello, how are you?
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hello, hello.
We're here to check in.
This is the check-in.
And no, this is not for you to check out.
No.
You have to stay locked in.
Well, or don't.
Or
That's
don't.
okay too, please.
There's also that.
Don't be
There's
mad
a-
at me.
We'll be whoever you want us to be.
And more. No, less.
And less. And much, and much less.
Less.
We want to say hello to anyone who's listening, supporting us, spreading the good word of Ghost Town. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Deep down inside.
Absolutely.
And we got to get right into the mayors. It's mayor time, baby.
It's mayor time. It's mayor o'clock.
Our mayors are pretty practical. But they got dreams.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Big, lofty dreams.
I can't wait to hear them. I can't wait to hear about them.
This mayor has a dream. I don't know. It's a little thing called peace and equality.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Solid dreams.
Solid dream. And is doing their part to make it happen. You know,
That's beautiful.
One high five at a time. One fist bump at a time.
It's a slow, long game.
It's slow, long, endless game.
Wow.
Well, that's our mayor, Marissa Rothermel.
Hello.
This mayor has a dream. Franchises. Wants to franchise. Well, I was like, I want my own Subway.
Ooh. Oh, I was like, does she franchise out or does she get in on franchise?
She gets in on franchises.
Got it. She's getting in on the ground
She wants to get
floor.
her chies on.
Yeah.
She wants to chies it up.
Yeah.
Chipotle,
Oh,
chies it up.
that's right. Wendy's. Oh,
Claire's
love
Boutique,
it.
I don't know.
Claire's Boutique. Sure. Yeah.
Wants to chies it up. Get at her if you have a chies for her. It's Casey Weber.
Hello.
This mayor has a dream. To rock.
Ooh.
And in what capacity? Listening to it, supporting it.
Wow. I was like, no roll, just rock.
Just wants to rock and doesn't necessarily need to take the front seat. Just could be an enthusiastic supporter. Pick up the merch.
Beautiful.
You know, give a little thumbs up on a Facebook post. Yeah, Facebook post.
I like that.
Just wants to rock. All right. Why should that be a dream? But apparently,
It
in this
is.
day and age, it is, and we're here to support it. That's Matthew Clemens LeRae.
Hello.
This mayor has a dream to profit.
Oh.
Pure, unadulterated profit. Profit margins.
Numbers, bottom
Numbers
lines,
in the black.
shoulder pads.
Car phones, brick
Oh
phones.
yeah, dinner resis, wheeling and dealing,
She's like-
shiny ass shoes. Those shoes are so shiny, and the hair is so slick.
He just wants to show up at Elaine's. It's like an old school restaurant.
Going to
It's
Elaine.
Big hair, fast cars, too
Aftershave.
fast. Yeah, just like Jordache jeans.
It's a little too casual.
It's a little too kind of you, but it's like
Okay,
when you're
fair.
with Gregory Jordache,
Your family.
doesn't matter. Show this person the money. Kelly Meehan.
Hello.
This mayor has a dream. Property.
Ooh.
The land. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, you want the building? I want to own the land, so you have to pay me for it. What kind of property? Beachfront. Prime real estate. Good property. All of them, the big threes.
Whoa.
Beachfront, prime, and good.
I thought you were gonna say maybe a primo or
Nah.
like no. That's all you need.
That's all you
The Holy Trinity:
It's all-
beachfront, good, prime.
Yeah. You'll
Cool.
learn that. You learn that when you get your real estate license.
Okay.
Wants it, dreams it, gonna get it. That's Cat Joselle.
Hello.
This mayor has a dream. Flipping. Has a dream to flip. Flip a house. Flip a car.
Backflip.
You'll do backflips when you see what this person does when they flip that house, flip that car, flip
Whoa.
that friend. Just flip them all.
Whoa.
Take garbage and flip it.
Wow. Nothing is static. Everything is
It's
being
moving.
flipped.
Flipped, yeah. They're like, but we just moved in nope, flip it.
Flip it.
It's always in perpetual motion.
Wow.
Constantly flipping, will never satisfied till everything's been flipped. Get
then flip it
flipped.
again.
That's Ashley Matson.
Hello.
And then our governor, who doesn't have a dream because anything they want, snap of a finger, it happens.
What is a dream but a want that's about to come true?
Who said that?
Me?
Oh,
Right now?
I thought it was going to be Christina Carpenter. that's a current
Espresso.
Yeah.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter. Christina Carpenter Or maybe thinking of a Charisma Carpenter from
Karen Carpenter?
No, it's Karen Carpenter, but
Sure.
I think is there Charisma Carpenter that was on one of those like Buffy the Vampire Slayer type shows?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. So-
But you're talking about someone else entirely.
I'm talking about Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah, that was talking about Sabrina Carpenter.
No,
Well,
that's me.
our governor, all those connections to all those people in points in time.
And like it's annoying, or it's like stop texting me.
And what's a hand without a bottle or a glass of champagne in it? Apparently, what is that? What do people do with their hands if they're not having a glass of champagne in front of something in Iceland?
No,
Or now I'm at an art thing. I never believe in the Illuminati, except
in the case,
I
of
feel
our-
like we're too close to it, and I feel like we're pushing it, but I feel like we need to be pushing it to get there.
Okay. I'm scared though too.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get on her bad side.
No.
Because nobody wants to get on her bad side.
And whose bad side? Our governor, Avian
Avian
Noble.
Noble.
If you want no ads, no chit chat, bonus episode, no one out now, just the good stuff. 7 days free. You can check in, listen to that bonus episode, listen to the other 70 something bonus episodes.
Yeah.
Or you can give us a $1 or $2.
That'd be nice.
That's a dream that we
That's
have.
a dream that we have. Just a couple
It
bucks.
is literally is a dream. It's still we're at that dream phase. Actually, at the time you're listening to this, we had just hit our 6-year
Oh my
anniversary. Isn't
God.
that crazy?
That is wild.
6 years. Like, I don't know how many, 500 and something episodes every single week without fail. In
That's
the very
true.
beginning was only one episode, but for 85% of it, it's been 2 episodes a week without fail,
That's crazy.
without money.
Oh, why do we do it?
I think we do it because if we're not doing that, then we're just I don't know what we are doing.
Well, then it's just me on the internet. To
Yeah.
what end? At least for this, it's like, well, here's the goal from all of your searches.
I think if there are people that listen every week or mostly every week, and that's only, say, a handful of people. I don't know how many people it is. A couple of billion? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, just
what's
a couple billion.
couple billion?
Just a half of the world's population.
Population every single week. I was like, I wonder if they be disappointed because I feel like there's a lot of this podcast I listened to, and I was like, they probably make one of the same thing, and I was like, I'd be bummed if you weren't there, even if I don't listen every week or I listen like a couple times a month. I'd be bummed if you weren't there, like showing up in my in
seeing
my
that little
feed.
little green box come up.
Yeah, so.
Hey, hi you.
And the rest of it is for that dream of $1 or $2, baby.
Yeah.
1 or 2. That's it. 3. Didn't say 3.
Whoa,
Didn't
too
say
much.
50
Actually,
cents.
I crumble under that kind of
Yeah.
pressure. So just
I didn't
keep
say 50
it
cents. I
to,
didn't say $3. So head on over to patreon.com/ghosttownpod. You want to get back to
Let's get back to
different
England.
dream. Yeah.
A different, dark dream. So, on the suggestion of his wife, per her own dreams, Thomas Martin went to Red Barn to maybe, just maybe, find the body of his missing daughter. It was a traumatizing task, to say the least. But he did it, carefully combing the dirt floor with his mole-catching spike until he noticed an unusual lump in the dirt. From there, his spike caught on a chunk of rotting human flesh. Thomas didn't have to dig more than 2 feet to discover a shallow hole, inside of which was a sack. Trembling, Thomas Martin opened the sack to find a decomposed human skeleton with long hair and a green bandana around its neck. Thomas turned around and went home, immediately calling the police. He knew it was time to avenge his daughter's death, and he knew how to do it. Find William Corder and punish him. The police eventually found William Corder in West London, obtaining his address from an old friend. There they found out that William got married to a different woman named Mary Moore and ran a boarding school for girls. Strangely enough, and speaking to his ego and public nature, he had met his new wife Mary through a Lonely Hearts advertisement that he had placed in the Times, which had received more than 100 replies. When the police confronted him, they asked him if he had ever known a woman by the name of Maria Martin. Quote, "I never knew any such person, even by name," he responded. Cold. Of course, the truth about William would soon be revealed, namely that he was a con artist and a ladies' man, unaffectionately called Foxy because he was known to forge checks and steal animals from neighboring farms. On one occasion, he kidnapped his father's pigs and pocketed the money from the sale. By some accounts, that was not the life William wanted. Apparently, William wanted to be a teacher or a journalist, but his father refused to financially support that professional path. Instead, William sustained his bank account with petty crime. Or more. It's hard to say, considering his father and much of his family, including Maria's ex, his older brother, had strangely died. A search of William Corden's house uncovered a pair of pistols with receipts that they were bought on the day of Maria's murder, some letters from a Mr. Gardner, which may have contained warnings about the discovery of the crime, and a passport from the French ambassador, suggesting that Corder may have been preparing to flee his second life in London. Immediately, the crime became a media sensation. A poor country mother seduced and fooled by an opportunist grifter with a promise of marriage. Not to mention the fact that the victim was discovered thanks to her stepmother's dream. Within days of the body's discovery, Polstead became a bustling place, quote, literally crowded with strangers from all parts of the adjacent countryside, for the news of this appalling discovery had ere-reached the remotest parts of the kingdom. Journalist Jay Curtis reported in his book, An Authentic and Faithful History of the Mysterious Murder of Maria Martin, and I would be remiss if I didn't tell you the insane full title of Curtis's book. Here we go. An Authentic and Faithful History of the Mysterious Murder of Maria Martin, with a full development of all the extraordinary circumstances which led to the discovery of her body in the Red Barn, to which is added the trial of William Corder, taken at large in shorthand specifically for this work, with an account of his execution, dissection, etc., and many interesting particulars relative to the village of Polstead and its vicinity, the prison correspondence of Corder, and 53 letters in answer to his advertisement for a wife. The whole compiled and arranged with upwards of 300 explanatory notes by Jay Curtis and embellished with many highly interesting engravings. Okay, giant title with some spoilers, but a title perhaps fitting a sensational crime, to be sure. Curtis says that even the local magistrate found the crime and its circumstances to be, well, insane. Quote, I never knew or heard of a case in my life which abounded with so many extraordinary incidents as the present. It really appears more like a romance than a tale of common life. And were it not that the circumstances were so well authenticated, it would appear absolutely incredible. It, however, verifies the remark of Lord Byron that, quote, truth is stranger than fiction. In fact, as William Corder was arrested and then subsequently jailed, Polstead was having a great summer thanks to the crime, holding its most well-attended summer fair in ages and hosting theatrical productions, all telling sensationalized and inspired versions of the very recent, I must emphasize, Red Barn murder. By the start of Corder's trial on August 7, 1828, the whole country was following the case. Thousands of people again flocked to Polstead, where tickets were required to gain entry into the trial. Nearly all of the inns and public houses in the county ran out of rooms for weary travelers who wanted to see how the case of 10 criminal counts against William Corder, including shooting, stabbing, and strangulation, would play out. A model of the Red Barn was even placed on a table in the courtroom, just in case people wanted to reference the scene of the crime. Of course, the guy had mountains of evidence against him. Anne's testimony, William's reputation, his own lies, and of course the guns and passport found in his own residence. But William Corder defended his name and blamed the press for his bad publicity. Reading from a written statement, he declared, quote, by that powerful engine, the press, which regulates the opinion of so many persons in this country, and which is too often, I fear, though unintentionally, the slanderer and destroyer of innocence, I have had the misfortune to be depicted in the most humiliated and revolting characters. I have been described by that press as the most depraved of human monsters. William went on to claim that he had indeed argued with Maria in the Red Barn, but he did not kill her. Rather, she had shot and killed herself. The young man claimed that he had panicked and had, quote, buried Maria as well as I was able. The jury deliberated for 35 minutes before returning a verdict of guilty, and the punishment, execution. Quote, my advice to you is not to flatter yourself with the slightest hope of mercy on earth, the judge would say. Quote, that you be taken back to the prison from whence you came, and that you be taken from thence, on Monday next, to a place of execution, and that you would be hanged by the neck until you are dead, and that your body shall afterwards be dissected and anatomized, and that may Lord God Almighty of his infinite goodness have mercy on your soul. On August 11th, 1828, a crowd of at least 7,000 people gathered around the gallows and watched William Corder be executed. His last words, which are surprising, quote, I am guilty, my sentence is just, I deserve my fate, and may God have mercy upon me. Corder actually gave a confession of sorts to the prison chaplain, claiming that he and Maria had gotten into an argument, potentially about their dead child, who had never received a proper Christian burial, which Maria did not like, and he had accidentally shot her in the face during a scuffle. Take that as you will. The day after Corder's execution, the body became the centerpiece of an autopsy attended by doctors and medical students from across the county. Corder's organs were removed and inspected, and his body was stripped of its skin, which was tanned and wrapped around the cover of a book chronicling his misdeeds. In 1846, Punch magazine would cynically joke that, quote, "Murder is doubtless a very shocking offense. Nevertheless, as what is done is not to be undone, let us make our money out of it." Indeed, over the next century, the Red Barn murder continued to fascinate the public, becoming a profitable cottage industry for artists and entertainers who wrote songs, poems, plays, and cheap penny dreadfuls about the incident. One particular recounting of the tale, published by the printer James Catnach, sold more than 1 million copies. Polstead would continue to be a destination for those early true crime enthusiasts. Some 200,000 people are said to have visited the town in 1828 alone, eventually stripping the Red Barn bare. The wood was reportedly sold as toothpicks to tourists. The book, bound in William Corder's skin, is still stored at Moysey's Hall Museum in Berry Street, Edmonds, Suffolk. And poor Maria? Well, after her body was found, it was buried in Polstead churchyard, but then exhumed and used as an exhibit against William Corder at his trial. But after that, she was returned to her grave, where her headstone was taken apart in chips by visitors as souvenirs. A wooden plaque was soon nailed to a shed at Polstead Church to indicate her grave, which still appears today. Maria's legacy, along with that of her murderer, William Corder, became widespread, again in plays, film, and other media. To name some other media that happened far after Maria's murder, there is the 1935 film Maria Martin, or The Murder in the Red Barn, the BBC drama Maria Martin in 1980. Playwright Christopher Bond wrote The Mystery of Maria Martin and The Murder in the Red Barn in 1991, and then there was a stage version of that. Folk singer Shirley Collins and the Albion County Band recorded a song in 1971 entitled The Murder of Maria Martin on their album No Roses. A part of the song is performed by Florence Pugh in the 2018 drama The Little Drummer Girl. Truly, our eternal fascination with the Red Barn murder goes beyond its modest beginning, spiraling into the realm of folk, fame, heartache, and of course, the mysteries of the subconscious mind.